And coming off an embarrassing 44-16 loss at the hands of an FCS opponent in Indiana State, the Tops used a bye week to get things back on track just in time for the Sun Belt season. Arkansas State was in the house October 1st, and WKU gave them all they could handle. The Tops struck first with bowling ball fullback Kadeem Jones, but the Red Wolves responded quickly with a little trickeration from wide receiver Dwayne Frampton. He found Ryan Applin for a 23-yard score. Fast forward to late fourth quarter, Tops have the ball at Red Wolves' 32-yard line with a 22-19 lead. 4th and 1, but Bobby Rainey is stuffed. Applin drives the Red Wolves down the field, and Derek Lawson punches in with under a minute to play. Ball game. Another heartbreaker for the Tops.
Loss to a nail-biting win. The Tops finally put the pieces of the puzzle together in their game against Middle Tennessee, and they did it on national television. That game was on ESPNU. Bobby Rainey performed at a national level. He ran for 146 yards and a touchdown. He also caught 6 passes for 57 yards. Talk about offensive threat. WKU fans finally got a first look at the wrecking ball that is Kadeem Jones. He barreled through his way to the end zone twice. And MTSU, they would have an answer, though, in the fourth. Logan Kilgore, quarterback, completed a 4th down pass to Anthony Amos with 4:55 left. But guess what? It would take 2 overtimes, and the Tops were finally able to overcome the 90-mile rival that is the Blue Raiders, 36-33. Chalk went up for the Tops. They've won 3 of their last 4 on the road, and their first win over MTSU since 2007.
And Jake, coming off their first dramatic win of the season, they traveled to Boca Raton to face FAU in their brand new stadium. But WKU ensured it wasn't a happy homecoming for the Owls, dominating them from start to finish. Bobby Rainey was at it again, this time running for 130 yards and 2 scores. After a slew of missed opportunities, the Tops finally blew it open in the fourth quarter and wound up winning 20-0. First winning streak since 2007, guys.
Yeah, going off of that, since 2007, there's been a lot that goes. You know, we've had an up and down season, but right now on a 2-game winning streak, what's been the key? You know, the special teams has really pulled us through in some of those games.
The special teams has been enormous, especially in that MTSU game. Hendricks Brakefield pinned 3 punts inside the 5-yard line. That's unreal. And then plus they got a freshman, John Evans. He ran a kickback for a touchdown late in the game to give them a 23-16 lead. And when you're returning kicks and you're pinning the opposition under the 5-yard line, you're going to win a lot of ball games, and they pulled one off at MTSU.
Let's go with that Hendricks Brakefield punt, though, at MTSU. Big plays those punts were, because you got to think, Andrew Jackson, he had a safety, and it's just one of those kind of plays that really can get the offense going from a special team standpoint. And when you have those plays like that, you can really turn a season around just through one play.
Yeah, and, you know, it only really takes one play to motivate the rest of the team to jumpstart that. And, you know, the offense has now found their rhythm in their winning streak. Can you talk about what are the keys that have led that?
Well, the key has really been when somebody outside of Bobby Rainey steps up and makes a play. That's pretty much the secret for the Tops every game. And K1 Jakes, he's been playing turnover-free football since getting benched against Indiana State, and that's really been the key. The Tops don't need him to go out and throw for 300 yards. All he has to do is take care of the ball, you know, make a couple of third-down conversions, and Bobby Rainey, he's going to do the rest.
I have to completely agree with you, Jeremy. You know, you look at a team like WKU, they're very lopsided with their run game. Bobby Rainey, teams know his name. They know that they should prepare for him. He's still going to get his yards, but it might not be as many as what he wants to get. But at the same time, the offense, it's all about who is going to step up on a given day. If you've got K1 Jakes that steps up, team's going to do great. If you have a running back or a wide receiver that steps up, as long as they step up and it's not Bobby Rainey, they'll be fine.
Yeah, go back to where you all were talking about K1 Jakes getting benched. What changed and why?
Well, he got benched for a redshirt freshman, and I mean, if I'm a junior quarterback who's had the starting position for 3 years, that's going to mess with my confidence and motivate me to get my starting job back. And I think that really lit a fire under Jakes, and he's come out and he's played well. He put up 222 against Arkansas State, even though that was a loss. He had 140 yards against MTSU, but he had the game-winning touchdown pass, and he didn't turn it over at FAU. And wouldn't you know it, the Tops won 2 of those, and we're a 4th and 1 away from winning the 3rd.
Now let's think on a realistic standpoint, though. The 2 teams that we have WKU has played so far, they stand at the lower division of the Sun Belt Conference. So there still stands a proving ground really for K1 Jakes in the sense that he hasn't really played a difficult team. He'll get that tonight, but I do think that on a reality check, you know, sitting him on the bench really said, hey, you know, I am the coach for Coach Taggart. I am the coach. You are not performing at the level we desire you to be performing at, and this is why. And basically sitting him out and then letting him start in the next game.
Yeah, talk about job security with the quarterback. They also have, where's our wide receivers?
The wide receivers have they've been non-existent this season. A lot of freshmen. Leading receiver has 12 catches, so that really needs to get going. But I had a chance to catch up with the guy who coaches those wide receivers, Zach Azzanni, and I sat down with him to find out what the Tops need to do to win against Lafayette. Jeremy Brown here with offensive coordinator Zach Azzanni. Coach, you guys run a West Coast style offense, and that's predicated around a strong running game, short, intermediate passing game. So you have a good running back in Bobby Rainey. That makes things pretty easy for you.
Yeah, you know, obviously if the offense is based on the run, you'd like to have one of the best tailbacks in the country, and we feel fortunate to have Bobby Rainey back there.
Very special guy, a lot of talent. He can go north and south and even go out east and west. Has great ability. Just describe the type of back he is and what he brings to your offense.
Well, you know, he can do a lot of things. He runs between the tackles really well for us. He's powerful enough and durable enough to do that. And then he's also quick enough to get out on the edge. And anytime, usually backs are built for one or the other, and the special backs like Bobby can do both.
You guys have had a lot of defenses lining up 8 or 9 guys in the box trying to stop him, but he still seems to be getting his production. Is that more credit to his work ethic or the offensive line blowing their guys off the line?
Well, I think there's probably a combination of a bunch of things. Number one, every week we got to figure out ways to scheme blocking 9 defenders with about 6. And you know, that takes a lot of work and a lot of man hours, so our staff does a great job at that, putting those guys in position to have an advantage numbers wise and schematic wise. And the next thing is, I think, you know, our offensive line has been kind of gelling more and more as the season goes on. Bobby's going to get his touches. He'll you know, we just got to figure out the best ways to put our O-line in successful spots, you know, so they don't get outnumbered all the time.
Let's talk about the O-line a little bit. You guys got an experienced group, got some youngsters in there too. How have you been evaluating their play this season?
You know, obviously started off good versus Kentucky, and then kind of hit a little down slope there for a couple games. And I think that's a great group of kids, great personalities in there. They love to play the game. They love what we do offensively, and we've just been challenging them every practice, every week, of just really being nasty and up front and having a mentality and an edge to them to run this style of offense.
Lining up under center, you got Kwan Jakes, and Kwan struggled to open the season, got benched for Dowdy, but Dowdy goes down and gets back in there, and it seems like he's really been rejuvenated and plays some solid ball since getting benched. How much do you think that has helped his psyche and his performance on the field?
You know, I think everything happens for a reason. I really believe that, and you know, Brandon coming off the bench and getting his first start, and we all know what happened, and having Kwan have to come in now and a little less pressure on him, and maybe not pushing as much and not pressing as much. And you know, these last couple games, Kwan has really just been Kwan. You know, if it's not there, he takes off and uses what God gave him, which is his athletic ability and his feet, to go get us out of trouble, get us a first down, and I think that's really helped our offense.
And he's a unique type of quarterback. You know, he's mobile, like you said, lots of athletic ability, can throw the ball downfield, but he sees himself as a pocket passer, but he's really dangerous when he decides to go out and run. Are you guys trying to design more plays to get him outside the pocket and show off his feet a little bit?
Well, you know, we have some things to do that, and but I'll be honest with you, we got a great tailback too, and we got a couple great tailbacks, and rather them carry the load than Kwan carry the load. But do we have some ways we can do that if we need them? We certainly do. I think everyone that has an athletic quarterback should have those options. But, you know, as the course of the game goes, he'll do that on his own. You know, there's things that are going to break down, and he'll go be him, and we don't need to necessarily call those plays for him to kind of go get some yards when a play breaks down.
The wide receiver position, it's been kind of a battle all season long. You guys lost Marcus against Indiana State, so it's really been up to a bunch of true freshmen to kind of step up and carry the load. Evaluate your receiving corps right now.
Young, you know, really, really young. And you know what? It's part of the business. No one cares that we're young. No one cares. They just see that, you know, whatever you put out on the field. And I understand that. I've been doing this a long time. I understand that. But at the same time, as a coach, I also understand that we have Tyler Higbee, true freshman, Bo Brand, true freshman, Joel German, redshirt freshman, Rico Brown, redshirt freshman. Those are the 4 guys that have been playing the most of the football, and a little bit of Dexter Haynes, who really didn't play significantly until towards the end of the season last year. So there's a lot of inexperience out there. There's one way to get better, and that's just keep playing football. And they're hungry. They're gonna they're going to keep gelling and keep improving. If it's not going to come at once, we're not going to go out and win 4 Blitnikoff awards out there right now. we just got to keep pressing and keep getting better at the little things.
Your offense has showed a lot of progression, especially the last 2 weeks. 36 points get MCSU, 20 points last week, so that's 56 points in 2 weeks. Are they starting to click, finally starting to get things going?
Yeah, I think so. They're getting some confidence. They're getting a mentality, which we talk about all the time. You know, we have a certain standard in which we do things offensively. Each area of our offense has a standard. Our kids know the standard. We're really trying to get them to live up to the standard, and I think they're buying in, and the mentality's coming. And I just really think that, you know, I think they're starting to really believe and have some confidence instead of, oh, here we go again. It's now, hey, let's go get this.
You guys have Lafayette this week. They run a 3-4 defensive scheme. What are the challenges in going against a team like that? And they've had 5 pick sixes too, so a big playmaking defense. What are the challenges facing the Raging Cajun defense?
Well, you know, that scheme is scheme's different. You know, it's a different scheme. It's a 3-4 scheme, which puts two overhang outside linebackers on the edge, which makes blocking and protections a little different. You know, you got to scheme it up a little bit different. So that presents some problems. But at the same time, they're not as built for maybe the downhill running game as, say, a 4-3 team. But they do get in some 4-3 stuff, which we have to be ready for as well. But you know what? They play really hard. They run around, run to the ball really well. Their secondary is probably the best we've faced so far. And statistically, obviously, they prove that. So, you know, we'll do some things to try and take advantage of some of their scheme, just like they'll do to us, and it'll be a great game.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us here on the Extra Point. Reporting for the Extra Point, I'm Jeremy Brown. And Azzanni's offense finally appears to have found its groove, putting up 56 points in the Top's last 2 contests. For WKU to win today, they'll have to keep finding that pay dirt.
Be sure to stick with us. Up on the other side of the break, we're bringing you an exclusive interview you won't want to miss.